So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
Always two there are.
Good. Twice the pride, double the fall.
You are the chosen one!
Oh, the music means we're back for the last time in 2023. Welcome back to Roll On Gaming. I am your host, Kevin, and I am joined, as always, by my brother, Corwin. And Corwin, it's been quite a year.
Yeah, it's been quite a year. But happy holidays to you and to all of our listeners out there. It's exciting to be back on the airwaves at the end of the year. Not just because, the holidays are a fun time with lots of spirit, but also because we're checking off another month on our road to the release of Star Wars Unlimited. So let's do it.
Oh, by the time this episode comes out, Christmas will be over. It'll almost be New Year's, which means that we are basically 3 short months away from the release of Star Wars Unlimited. And today, we are going to revisit the year that was, right? Because Star Wars Unlimited came into our lives in 2023. And as we continue down this journey of what the game is going to bring us, and all the stuff that we're going to get the chance to talk about and do with Star Wars Unlimited, it's nice to go back to the beginning and to sort of revisit the year of SWU. Before we do that, for those of you who have taken time out of your day this year to listen to us, to watch our videos, to follow us, to subscribe to the channel, a heartfelt thank you to all of you. We really enjoy doing this, and we're going to keep doing it. And it's because of you that we're able to do that. So thank you. We really appreciate it. We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pike as we get closer to March. So stay tuned for that, including we now have a article up on Deploy Your Leader Gaming. It's a new website that's going to end up being a licensed vendor for Star Wars Unlimited products. It's run by Brian from the Jank It Up Fuzzball podcast, for those Destiny folks who remember Brian. He's a fantastic guy. We're really excited to be partnering with him. He's going to be partnering with a few content creators to do written content on his website, and then also selling SWU stuff. So go check out our article, deployyourleader.com. We wrote about some fun stuff, and we hope you enjoy it. And it's nice to get the written views out there as well as the video views. So go check that out. Go check out Deploy Your Leader, and we're excited for that. But let's talk about SWU from the beginning, because again, in May, as of May 6th of this year, we had no idea this was coming. They had just revealed the deck building game, and it was not what we wanted, right? It's a great game. I've gotten producer Pops into the deck building game, by the way. He loves it. It's awesome. We've had a great time playing.
I've heard, yes.
But the Star Wars card game community was jonesing for a trading card game like this, and then we got it, and then it was met simultaneously with this wave of excitement and this wave of skepticism, including from you, Corwin, if I remember correctly. So what I want to ask you here, as we sort of dive into memory lane a little bit, if you could go back in time, right, and knowing what you know now about SWU and all of the excitement that we have for it, if you could go back in time to little Corwin on May 7th, and tell that some semi-skeptical Corwin one thing, what would it be?
Yeah. It's hard to recall exactly, where my thoughts were at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure what I would say to that person now, other than rest assured, all of your fears will be addressed and quashed by the steady stream of information and support and spoilers and everything else we've gotten over the months. I think that just from a promotional standpoint, the hype train has been rolling the whole time, and it's hard not to feel excited about everything that we've seen. But I also think that the FFG team has kind of shown their hand very early here with how they intend to support this game and how all in they sort of are on making sure that it's a good community experience. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is I think you and I would agree, Kevin, that we feel like we're going to be in really good hands with this game as it releases, and so for me, that's huge. And coming off of the Destiny experience is something that I think we needed to see, and I think we're seeing it thus far. So I guess that would be my answer is just the overall support and vision that we're seeing so early on with this game.
It is pretty wild because I definitely was in the camp of, I'm ready to be hurt again, right? And it's now December, and I've felt no pain at all. Like every piece of this game from that point in May to this point in December, almost January, has felt like a home run. And not a home run hit by the Dodgers, because those are fake home runs, but like a real home run, right? Like something that like answers a question that the community had directly. Like you said, if you had a concern, if you had a fear, if you had a doubt, they've addressed it. And I think that if that continues, and we have every indication that it's going to continue all the way up until March and beyond, this is something that's going to be a unique experience for a lot of gamers because of how forward facing FFG has been, and they're promising to continue that. And I have no reason to doubt them at this point because they've delivered on everything that they've said they were going to do up until now. So and it even to the point of just this week, we've had a steady stream of Monday reveals based on social media polls and stuff, and they didn't reveal a card on Monday, but instead of just not revealing a card, they came out into the Discord and said, hey, this isn't happening today, it will be back, don't worry, we'll give you guys some other spoilers via other avenues this week to make up for it, and we'll see you again in the new year type thing. That's something we never would have gotten back in Star Wars Destiny. So I don't want to keep harping on the Destiny point, because it's very clear that this is not Destiny. And I think I'm more excited about this in the lead up than I was at any point in the 3 years that I was in Destiny. And that's saying a lot. So that just goes to show what we're dealing with here from a successful point of view of what we're getting from FFG.
Yep. I would echo all of those points. And, I think it's kind of at this point now that we've got 6-7 months of it behind our backs, I think it's really just kind of kicked my my feelings about the game and my need to have the game in my hands to another level.
No,
So
3 months away. Remember when it was 5 months away and it seemed like an eternity? That was
it's really not even 3, because it's like, March 8th, you got pre-releases a week before that. So it's really like end of February. So we're like 2 months. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it.
I mean, that
Glass
sounds
half full.
that sounds a lot better than 3 months. We'll take that. These are things that we love to hear from the brilliant mind of Corwin. So it's been a bunch of victories for SWU. What in your mind stands out as one of the bigger ones for you? Like, what's the best part of Star Wars Unlimited that you've seen or experienced this year?
Yeah, how do you pick one? I mean,
Right.
it's hard. There's so many positives that have come out of this lead up. I think a couple things stand out to me. I think the fact that the game is staying true to the you take an action, I take an action model is and something that I'm very excited about. But also I think the art has been a massive W.
Oh,
And um, something that I think was exciting enough in the beginning, but if I'm thinking of an aspect of the game that has just exponentially grown more and more interesting and attractive to me over time, it's the art and the way that it's all coming together on the cards, and what that's going to look like in a hyperspace format, a foil format. Just can't wait to get some of those visuals, 6 inches from my face. It's going to be really, really exciting.
I'll say this, and this is a hotter take for some people than for others, but I now that I've seen the scope of the artwork and everything that's come out, there's not one piece of art that I don't like. Not one. That includes
Yeah.
some of the fan favorites like Chewbacca and what have you. Like I have enjoyed every piece of artwork that's come out because I think it adds to the aesthetic of the game, like you said, and sets it apart. And it's been phenomenal.
Yep.
Um,
Totally agree. So I think for me it's those two things that stand out primarily, but it's so hard to just, single out anything in this kind of environment.
it is, and I think I'm going to take a different direction, sort of, with this because game aside, and obviously we're so pumped for this. I think it's been reconnecting with the community for me. The community in Destiny was like the best part of the game because everybody just sort of like wanted the chance to get together and jam games and be like-minded individuals and talk about the game and other things related to Destiny. And we've reconnected with a lot of those players coming back to Star Wars Unlimited. And we've also met so many new players that are excited for Star Wars Unlimited. And sort of the melding of that has, I'm like, I feel myself almost getting emotional because, we missed that. And especially taking so much time away from people in 2020. If you think about it, that was a 1-2 punch from hell, right? Game canceled. So no more community. And then on top of that, go stay in your house for 8 months, right? And so it went from this vibrant sort of scene of interacting with players all over the world, coming off of a 2019 Worlds that was one of the best gaming events I've ever been a part of, ever, to nothing for 3 years. And so being able to re-immerse ourselves and reconnect with all these people and connect with people for the first time, we've made a lot of friends already, and we're grateful to each and every one of you that we've had a chance to interact with. And I think that, it's just gonna keep growing when the game gets closer and when it eventually releases. So that's one thing that's actually got me super, super hyped. And I'm like, again, I'm trying to sort of keep my composure here because it's like, wow, like it all sort of hit me as I was talking about it, that like this is really gonna happen again. And that's so awesome. And we're so stoked to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well said. And I think to add to it further, just being able to actually have those interactions in person
Yes.
in the stores
Mm-hmm.
will be something that we've both been waiting for a long time.
Absolutely.
So definitely excited to get back to playing cards in shops again and supporting local businesses and hanging out with people, far after the tournament's over, just to chat and talk about whatever. It's good times.
It is. And really excited to continue to support the local stores that, that are going to be supporting the game, because we're going to be supporting the game. So big question. Now we come off of serious topics to even more serious questions. All right, you ready for this? Here we go. Game comes out tomorrow. We've seen all the cards in the set. There are no more cards. So 181 instead of 252. Forget the other 70. Game comes out tomorrow with the cards we have. What's your leader and base combination? What are you running?
Whatever I pull. Yeah, I guess if I had every option at my disposal right away, gosh, I don't know. How could you? I think it's probably Leia. I feel like Leia on Tarkin Town is something that I'm pretty interested in exploring out the gate. I'm sure we'll get into this later, but I'm really digging Red Hero stuff right now. I just think they've gotten a lot of help this month, and I've always liked Leia ever since I saw her she was one of the first leaders we had spoiled, and I've always felt like she could be something. So I think that's where I'd probably start.
Yeah,
what about you?
Doesn't hurt that that's the only card we've seen a showcase of as well, and that showcase is phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
So a lot of people who pay attention to the channel and watch the channel think that it's probably going to be this guy, Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
I think I'm still workshopping Thrawn. So honestly, for me, it's one of the blue villainy leaders. It's either Krennic or Iden Versio. And we'll talk about Iden in a little bit, but I think there's something there with Vigilance villainy. And I don't know why, because I think of the aspect, combos that we've seen between a morality and a color, I guess. It's probably got the least amount of support right now. But I do know that there are 70 cards left to be revealed, despite everything I just said. So I just think that when all is said and done, there's going to be something there that has legs. And I also wrote about a potential Krennic build that you might be interested in that article on Deploy Your Leader Gaming. So go check that out. Shameless plug. But I don't know. I like both of their abilities, both Krennic and Iden. I'm not usually like a big guy on healing, but for whatever reason, it just seems to gel. So I'm going to keep exploring those two. And worst case scenario, if I hate them both, and I can always fall back on Thrawn or, let's be real, Darth Vader. So.
Yeah, I was waiting for the Vader answer. Or Grand Inquisitor. Those would have been my two picks.
Grand Inquisitor needs some help. And I don't know. He's no IG-88, but he needs some help. But yeah, I think there's also 2 leaders left to be revealed. We're missing the blue heroism and the green villainy leader, which is widely expected to be speculated to be Palpatine. So if that ends up being the case, that could change my mind drastically, because right now I think blue and green in villainy is not to be trifled with. But yeah. But speaking of things yet to come, and this will be the last thing before we dive into some reveals and spoilers that we haven't had a chance to talk about. What has been your favorite non-leader card revealed so far this year? And what's one that you hope to see in 2024 before the set releases?
Okay.
Yeah, a little two-parter.
Really putting me on the spot here. Yeah,
little two-parter.
Well, I think if our listeners have been paying attention, and I know they have because they're wonderful people, then I think they would probably know the answer to the first part. I still think Unit Leia is probably the best card in the game.
It's not a tough sell.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy choice for me for number one. The answer to number two is, well, the first place my head goes there is for something that will be impossible in set one, because we're not going to get any new characters yet. So I don't get to enjoy any Poe Dameron cards just yet.
Hey, his ship is in the set, okay?
I mean, that's the thing, right? They put Black One in there, so
if Mace Windu can make it into Spark of Rebellion, then Poe Dameron certainly can. Okay.
It feels like it definitely feels though like the Poes and party are just not going to have a place yet, and that's okay. Hopefully, set 2.
Okay.
But I guess I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think it would be interesting to see if we get this might be a kind of a weird answer, but what if we get Ewoks in set 1?
Now that is intriguing. I think I read one of the designer articles that was posted on the Star Wars Unlimited website. I think Tyler Parrott said something about an unrevealed series of cards. I don't remember what set he was talking about, but Ewoks could be a series of cards.
Yeah. I mean, there's 70 left. It feels like, you could probably put 8 to 10 of them, all in.
Whoa. 8 to 10. Whoa.
Well, in terms of Ewok Ewoks and Ewok support. There's like it'll be like a whole line of cards.
Does it surprise anybody that you played Chopper droids? No, it doesn't. Chopper is another one we have yet to see, and we'll get into.
That's true, yeah, because we have.
We'll get into a new.
And we got a new Spectre to talk about too.
Yeah, that we're going to talk about.
Can't wait for that.
So quickly, I think it is a tough decision to pick one card that's been my favorite so far, but it's probably the Devastator. I love that thing. It's awesome. It's so cool. So the Devastator is probably there, and honestly, like, yet to be revealed. I need a sick Vader unit, man. I need one.
Yeah.
I need one, dude.
Yeah.
So, because we saw Luke, and Luke is awesome. Like, Luke is probably top 3 units in the game. Like, I am very comfortable saying that. And so, like, if Luke is that sick, then what is Vader going to be? And I'm not saying he needs to be sicker than Luke, but if he's going to be on par, like, I'm really excited for that, and I'm all about it. And, I don't know if it's going to be the artwork of him with the snowtroopers, or if it's going to be different artwork that we haven't seen yet. I don't know, but either way, like, the Vader unit, I'm ready for sure.
Yeah. No surprise there.
Whatever aspect the Vader unit is in, it might be one of the aspects that I'm forced to play, because I'm gonna want 3 copies of Vader, toot sweet, and put him in every deck that I run. So if he is aggression, then I might need to play Krennic or Iden with aggression, or Thrawn with aggression. I don't know. So that's, yeah, remains to be seen. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, we'll have seen it, but I doubt it. In the meantime, though, let's talk about some cards that have been revealed. We're gonna breeze through a couple of these pretty quick, because we've got a lot of them. We haven't had a chance to podcast since earlier in the month. So we're gonna run through them really quick, because there's some really exciting cards in here, including some newly revealed ones this week that we definitely want to talk about. So let's jump in. And see what is added to the list in the month of December. So we're gonna go by color here, and it's interesting because on one of the streams we got an aspectless character. We got the Volunteer Soldier, which some people probably saw coming. I don't know that I saw it coming in set 1. But it's really cool to see it in set 1. I mean, cards like this are going to be awesome in limited formats. So we have here the Volunteer Soldier, a 3-cost ground unit with no aspect. It's a 2/3 trooper with raid 1. And if you control a trooper unit, this unit costs 1 resource less to play. Does it slot into a deck in constructed right now? I don't know, but this actually probably seems like a pretty solid card in the right format.
Yeah, in the right format, and obviously I think it's restricted to trooper themed decks, but if it's in a trooper deck and you can get this thing down for 2, you're feeling pretty good. Got a lot of value there for 2. So really, really solid option for a very specific deck type.
Yeah, and even in like a limited format, if you don't have a trooper, you're paying 3 for a 3/3. That's about as much as you can expect from a 1 aspect card, and you're getting that from a 0 aspect card. So I don't hate it.
Agreed.
I don't hate it. Then we get to command. I think we had 3 command cards revealed in the entire month of December to this point. We'll start with Academy Training. This is one of the 2 cards that was revealed by our friends over at Late Night Gaming, who I will be joining on December 30th for a live stream. So be sure to tune in and check that out. Watch me get my butt kicked by a lot better players than me. But Academy Training is a very simple card. It's an upgrade, single aspect command, 2 cost for a +2/+2. Not a lot to say here, except that it's not bad. It might not be as good as 2 experience tokens, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's card's fine.
Yeah,
2 for extra 2/2 is on curve, I think. So not much to say here.
I like it for extra survivability in Iden, because she's well, we'll see Iden in a minute, but remember this card for when we talk about that here as we move along. Okay, so attack pattern Delta here. This is a double aspect command, 3-cost event. It's a tactic, and it's a doozy. Give a friendly unit +3/+3 for this phase. Give another friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase. Give a third friendly unit +1/+1 for this phase. It's an uncommon. Is this too slow? That's my question.
Yeah, kind of. And you have to have 3 units out to max its potential. That's pretty narrow in terms of the box it needs to hit.
So would you not want this in like a command Leia?
If you're going wide,
Right, because
mean,
Leia wants to go wide theoretically, right? So like
yeah,
this feels like it fits right in. I realize that it gives your opponent a chance to interact with it, but unless they can take out the +3/+3 unit or find a way to neutralize it, even if you're getting +4/+4 from this, it seems solid. You know? I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe I'm tripping.
In a world of no good to me deads and cunnings, it's just gonna feel real bad when you do this and then you
Yeah.
can't even use the unit for 2 turns.
Yeah.
Or for the phase it's played in. Yeah, so I don't know. Pretty skeptical about this one, especially it's a steep cost for 2 command.
Yeah. I think that of the double aspect cards that we've seen, I think Command's double aspect cards might be, they could use some help. So we'll see if that holds true as we continue. And then finally, just recently revealed, we have the Rogue Squadron Skirmisher. Now this was revealed by Jedi News Network. I want to get that right. 6 cost ground unit in command and heroism. You're getting a 4/6 rebel vehicle speeder with ambush. These snow speeders in their ambush, I'm telling you. And when played, you can return a unit that costs 2 or less from your discard pile to your hand. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's probably on par with the other snow speeder that we've seen in terms of power level. Another card that I think could see a little bit of extra bump in value in a Leia deck just because she's trying to run small units anyway. So you've probably got a fair amount of 2 cost options in your discard by that point to pull back. But only having the 4 power for 6, uh, I don't know. It's 6 seems a little high for this card if you're asking me.
I mean, the idea of pulling back a Leia seems good. Even maybe
Yeah.
like a Battlefield Marine.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I don't know. Or
Yeah.
Green Squadron A-Wing too, potentially. Aside from that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that ability is going to be super useful, but ambush for 4 has proven to be useful with cards like Bosk, so I could see it having some play. So that's the extent of the command cards. We had a tie for the next 2 aspects that got the most. We got 6 vigilance and 6 cunning. We'll start with the vigilance because this one is a banger. You know how much I love the Star Destroyers. And we got another one in Avenger here. 9 cost space unit in Vigilance and Villainy. You're getting an 8/8 Imperial Vehicle Capital Ship. It's a legendary, and when played and on attack, an opponent chooses a non-leader unit they control. Defeat that unit. I mean, put it in every Vigilance deck I make. Yes.
Yeah, this is a good card. If you're getting to 9, I mean this is a good card. Definitely is going to feel very good when it hits the table, just deleting units immediately. And then having a very beefy 8/8 to go along with it. So definitely feel like Avenger is worth it at 9. And will probably reliably, as long as it is able to stay on the board and do its thing, get 2 units out of your way, maybe even 3, which is huge.
You say it's getting to 9 like it's a problem. I feel like it's wildly simpler to get to 9 these days, especially if you're in Villainy, because you've got both the Super Laser Tech and Resupply. Like, you can get to 9 pretty regularly, I feel.
Requires you're playing this in green, which
I think if you're running Star Destroyers, you probably play them in green if you can help.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea, it seems, with villain green, is to just build up to these massive ships. But yeah, I mean, dropping this 1 turn before your favorite Devastator is like the 1-2 punch that no one is going to want to sit across from.
We are out here. Also, I need this in hyperspace because the turbo laser barrage is.
I mean, look at that art. It's just, this is what I'm talking about. Like this is just it's so prime. It's just so prime the way that this is this is drawn and designed.
It
Awesome,
is.
awesome card.
But according to the rules of unplayable, because we started talking about the art, we need to move on to the next card. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Iden now. And so Iden is we've mentioned this already a couple times. It's the rare leader in villainy and vigilance. It's got an action where you exhaust if an enemy unit was defeated this phase, heal 1 damage from your base. Iden deploys on 6 resources. You get a 4/4 Imperial Trooper that has shielded. And when an enemy unit is defeated, you heal 1 damage from your base. So there's some trade-offs here. Obviously, if you're able to, defeat a lot of things while Iden is in her leader unit side, you're going to get a ton of value off of this. On the other hand, Iden dies to takedown and Iden dies to Dooku. Just like that, forget the shielding. So it's gonna take some crafty playing to make sure that you can keep Iden around for a bit. But that said, I really like this ability. I really do.
Yeah, I mean it's true to what Vigilance is trying to do. It's nice to see that ability exist on the villain side as well. I know, we had some of it. I think Krennic has Restore too, doesn't he?
Correct.
But yeah, I just for the 4 HP is the issue with the card, but the shielding is trying to make up for that, and I think in some cases it will, and when it does, it's still going to feel just fine to have her come out at 6. But yeah, I mean, if you can get that ability to trigger, it's nice that it's just anytime it happens and it's not an on attack type of thing. That helps with its upside. I'm always interested in seeing that. So, and she's a trooper, which there's support there already, as we've seen. So
relevant.
Yeah, not bad. Not
very
bad.
very relevant. I think Iden's going to see some play. I think people are going to figure out how to keep her around, and I'm excited to keep testing with Iden because I think she's really cool design, and maybe I can get a sick Galactic Ambition playoff. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it'll be worth it. So Iden, of course, is a member of Inferno Squad. So we get a couple other Inferno Squad members here as well, starting with Del Meeko. Del Meeko was revealed by Hunter and Friends Brettspiele. I probably butchered that last word, but we're here. Del Meeko, 3-cost Vigilance Villainy Ground Unit. You get a 3/3 Imperial Trooper with Restore 1. And each event an opponent plays costs 1 more resource. This is a rare, and this is a rare that I think is pretty solid. I think that cost ability, if you can keep it around, if you get Del down early and your opponent's trying to play Overwhelming Barrage at 5, well, now you got to wait till 6. Or deal with Del, and then the Restore fits right into Vigilance, like you said. So I think Del's solid.
Yeah, I really like this card a lot, and I think he's coming in with an instant target on his back because no one's trying to pay extra money for their events.
Yeah.
Resources are hard enough to come by, so I think this card brings a lot of value for 3. Don't mind seeing it turn 2. Don't mind seeing it later in the game. It's got the Restore 1. Yeah, just really, really solid card.
Yeah. So Del, I think, was Inferno something or other, but he wasn't Inferno 4, which is our next card. Inferno 4 was one of 2 cards revealed by our friends over at the Garbage Rollers. And this is a 2-cost space unit in Vigilance Villainy. You're getting a 2/3 Imperial Vehicle Fighter. And when played and when defeated, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put any number of them on the bottom of your deck, and the rest on top in any order. Love this in Grand Admiral Thrawn. Love it.
Yeah, definitely. A little R2 action on the Imperial side, except you get 2 cards. It's nice. And then, a decently beefy space unit for 2. Can't complain about this one.
No, and I think again, if you flip that top card in Grand Admiral Thrawn and you see something that's not of a cost that you want, being able to either play or defeat Inferno 4 and hey, let's see if we have a shot at the next card up down and see if that gives us something. If both of them don't work, you can just send them to the bottom and try your hand with the 3rd card down. There's some stuff there, and then again, you can you know, you're if you send one to the bottom, you know, and you're not playing in Thrawn, that means it probably wasn't useful to you at the time. I like this card. I like it a lot. I think it goes into pretty much every vigilance villainy deck right now, just because they needed more space units, and they got one. And then speaking of vigilance villainy units, we have the Scout Bike Pursuer, a 2-cost ground unit in, as I mentioned, villainy and vigilance. You get a 1/4 Imperial Trooper with grit. This is a common. I like it. I think I like it more than some others do, but I see this as an awesome combo with Death Trooper, right? Like play
Yeah,
this.
I was gonna say this is like Krennic wants this card, doesn't he?
Mhm.
Because you can get extra value off of having the damage on, plus, and he's got grit. So it feels like a made for Krennic type of card. Maybe not so much outside of that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think depending on what you plan to go up against, if you play this round 1 against like a Sabine, which has a lot of 2/2s and 2-power units, you can attack something right away, may not kill it, but you're also not going to be in super danger of getting, you know, defeated yourself. And then you have a stronger attack the next time around. Or again, the aforementioned Death Trooper. This is also a card that would really pair well with the Grand Inquisitor, provided you're not going into Tarkin Town.
That's true.
So
There's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I see people, you know, attacking into this guy. There's nothing to be afraid of with 1 HP.
No.
But if you have your own ways to put damage on, it could be interesting.
Yeah. There'll be some combo pieces with Scout Bike Pursuer. That much is true. And so we've seen a lot of villain vigilance this month, but we had to end on a hero vigilance, and this card's a doozy. We saw this on one of the FFG streams. It's Redemption, 8-cost space unit in vigilance heroism. You're getting a 6/9 Rebel vehicle capital ship, which is nice. You have Sentinel with that, and then when played, heal up to 8 total damage from any number of units and or bases. Deal that much damage to this unit. This is a rare. My question to you, do you ever not heal the full 8?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, paying 8 to heal 8 doesn't feel great.
But you're also getting a 6/1 Sentinel in space.
You are getting a 6/1 Sentinel in space. So yeah, the one is a little tough to stomach. I do like this card a lot. I think that it definitely has a place in hero vigilance. And I think it's just going to be context dependent as far as the damage you heal. But the fact that you can heal max and still have the card available in the space lane is a huge W. So I definitely like Redemption quite a bit.
I hate this for Luke decks because I'm going to hate facing it when somebody plays Luke, because the 6, 7, 8, if you can get it off, 6 Obi-Wan, and then of course the Luke deploying, 7 unit Luke, 8 Redemption. What do? And then combine this Redemption heal potentially with Luke's 3 restore. And Obi-Wan Sentinel. Like, what do you do? This is going to be tough.
Yeah, unless you're just, you know, exhausting those units and not worrying about them.
But even if you exhaust these units, even if you exhaust Obi-Wan, Luke, and Redemption, that's still, you know, a bunch of health you have to get through on both arenas, and a bunch of damage that was just healed from your base. Like that's a nasty 6, 7, 8 if you can get it off.
Yeah, it is. I don't think it's on par with what villains can do on their side, but I do think that it's intriguing for Blue Hero for sure.
Yeah, this is no Devastator, but it's still cool.
I mean, you would take Avenger and Devastator, like what Blizzard AT-AT, Avenger, Devastator, like you would take that over this.
I don't think I'd take Blizzard AT-AT over this. I think this is better than Blizzard AT-AT. So,
Like if we're comparing 8 to 8. No, I think I would agree.
Yeah.
But like the general suite is
Yeah, that's true. I see.
it's interesting.
The eight,
It's
the
an
8, 9,
interesting
10. Yeah.
which as you stated is not that hard to get to if you're
It's not.
in villain command.
It's not. All right, so let's move on to Cunning. As I mentioned, 6 cards in Cunning so far in December. Starting with Bodhi. Little Bodhi Rook action here, which was revealed on the FFG stream. This is another double aspect Cunning card. You're getting a ground unit for 3 cost. That's a 3/3. It's an Imperial Rebel. And when played, look at an opponent's hand and discard a non-unit card from it. This is a rare, and I think this slots immediately into any double Cunning deck. This card's really good.
Yeah, no question. This is a great card, and love the double aspect or the double trait. Imperial Rebel, super thematic, and yeah, just a really solid option for 3. Doesn't feel bad. Like paying 3 for this versus paying 3 for the attack pattern delta, right? Like it's night and day, honestly.
Yep.
So
I will
yeah,
not.
I really like Bodhi a lot. He's a great card.
I will not argue with you that this card is better than attack pattern delta. I think that is definitely something I won't argue with you about. So yeah, great card there. Speaking of double aspect Cunning, we got another one in Cantina Bouncer. This is a 5 cost ground unit. You get a 3/5 fringe. And this is an uncommon. When played, you may return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. So this is Valle. And then for 2 extra, you get a 3/5 in the ground unit.
Yep.
Love it.
Pretty solid.
Love it. Cunning is definitely, it's got some tools,
It's a nuisance.
Yeah.
It's an absolute nuisance to play against Cunning. And double Cunning is just becoming more and more viable too with some of these options.
Well, I think there's a reason that some of the developers in the AMA that they did on social media channels said that Cunning was their favorite pairing right now, which is a little scary, but I guess
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. So Cantina Bouncer, yep, that's a good one. I think we can agree pretty quickly that that's a good one. Cartel Spacer also revealed on the FFG stream. 2 cost Cunning Villainy space unit. You're getting a 2/3 underworld vehicle fighter. And when played, if you control another Cunning unit, exhaust an enemy unit that costs 4 or less. I like it. Pretty solid. The exhaust strategy is real with Cunning. We've seen so many cards that do that. Cartel Spacer is probably immediately better than Outer Rim Outlaw. You know, obviously it has that caveat, but like so does the Headhunter, not the Outlaw. Outer Rim Outlaw, I think, was a Destiny card. So don't listen to me there.
Yeah, I figured you meant Headhunter there. Yeah, I mean the only problem with this card is it's not a turn 1 drop, but otherwise, like you're feeling pretty good about what it's bringing to you at 2.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, for a 2/3, I mean, again, that's on par with an X-Wing, and then you get an actual ability. So I don't, if you have to drop it on round 1, then you have 2 other ones.
Hopefully you don't.
Yeah, but obviously this is one you hope to save for at least another round. Crafty Smuggler, pretty straightforward Cunning ground unit here. 2 cost, single aspect, 2/2 underworld unit that has shielded. Put it in.
Yeah.
Slot it in. It's good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is gonna go really well into some of those 2/2s in Sabine.
Fantastic unit in limited.
Yeah. Oh, that in limited, this is gonna be bonkers. You're absolutely right about that. All right, Jawa Scavenger. This was a very fitting second reveal for the garbage rollers. I like the little shifty Jawa in the background there on the left.
Yeah.
Being mysterious. This is a 1 cost ground unit in single aspect Cunning. You're getting a 2/1 fringe Jawa. Jawa being a trait, by the way, is wild. So you wanted Ewoks, look out for Jawas. Here they come.
Yeah.
2/1 fringe Jawa with Saboteur. It is a common. I don't mind this at all. Like, is it going to be more of a limited card than a constructed card? Probably. Is using Surprise Strike with Saboteur on this kind of ridiculous? Yeah. I don't hate Jawa Scavenger at all. I think this card is pretty cool.
No, it's perfectly fine for a 1. I mean, you're getting the 2 power with Saboteur. That's all you can ask for a 1 cost card. I think it's a great option at 1.
Unless you're Greedo or Death Star Stormtrooper.
Well, yeah, but they don't have Saboteur. I mean,
They do not.
Greedo has got his ability, which is nice, but
Yeah.
Again, I don't think I wouldn't fault this choice at all for a 1-drop.
This could even be like a sideboard option. Now that you mention it, this could be like a sideboard option where you just like slot it in just for the purpose of removing your opponent's shields with Saboteur. Like even if it dies right away, like you can still just throw it, throw the Jawa at your opponent's shields and just eliminate them. Like that for 1 cost. That could be hilarious.
Yeah.
What a visual. Yeah, I like this card. Let's talk about the Vanguard Ace. This card was revealed by Board Game Theory. That is a 2-cost space unit. Cunning Heroism is a 1/1 New Republic vehicle fighter. And when played, for each other card you played this phase, give an experience token to this unit. So, New Republic, not Rebel.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a ton of New Republic. Needs to be able to play a lot of cards. So you're looking at like a Leia or a Sabine. I don't know. This is one of the few cards that I've seen where I've just been like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that there's no ceiling on its ability, but realistically, I mean, you're really only getting 1, maybe 2 out of this.
Yeah.
And so it's at that point, it's just fine because then it's a 2/2 or 3/3 body for 2, which is very average, and there's no extra ability. So
Yeah.
I don't see it being super great either, but I do like the fact that it's not capped.
That's fair. That's fair. You could just run out a bunch of Jawa Scavengers and then play this as a 2-cost 4/4 5/5. Have at it. All right. So then we'll continue with Cassian Andor. Now we come to the dominant section of December, which was the aggression section, and we got 10 cards revealed in aggression across all aspects. And we're starting here with a very intriguing leader in Cassian Andor. So Cassian has an action where if you pay 1 and exhaust Cassian, the ability reads, if you've dealt 3 or more damage to an enemy base this phase, draw a card. And then Cassian deploys on 6 resources. And for 6, you're getting a 4/6 Rebel that has Saboteur. And when you deal damage to an enemy base, any amount of damage, you may draw a card. Use this ability only once each round. So now instead of capping it at 3, anytime you deal damage, which coincidentally Cassian can just do right off the rip. So you could potentially get 2 cards the round that Cassian deploys. We know this is going to be a favorite of Producer Pops. Is this a favorite of Corwin's?
I don't know if I would put it in the favorite category yet, but I am very interested in this card. I think that it has some really, really interesting angles to it. I really like the one cost draw card. On the flip side, there is that other card in aggression, isn't it? I forget the name of it, but it's 3 costs to draw 2, isn't it? I forget the
Mission
name of it.
Briefing.
Yes, mission briefing.
Don't
So
ask
just
me
going
how
by
I know
that
off the top of my
standard,
head. Yeah.
I'm impressed. But going by that standard, you've got a much more efficient option here with Cassian at 1. You have the 3 damage requirement, but that's pretty easy to get to in red. And I just personally feel like these leaders that have those abilities, those one resource abilities, it just sometimes just being able to find a way to take advantage of that floating resource you might have in a round, it's very appealing to me anyway. So having that as an extra option, um, rather than something that just happens passively for free, I don't know. Um, I like it, and I think with him having Rebel and Saboteur on the back when he deploys, very impactful traits. So I could see Cassian doing some work, honestly, and I feel like I will want to explore that at some point.
When this card was revealed, the first thing I thought is, why would you ever play this instead of Sabine? And I think I've come around on that for two reasons. One, Cassian doesn't die to takedown or force choke. So there's some survivability there. The other thing is, as you mentioned, the card draw gives you consistency, which, as we know, card draw in all games are good. Even if, in this game you draw 2 at the start of every round, you're still resourcing 1 for half the game. So consistency is key in a lot of these decks, especially if you're trying to get to some of your extra copies of things you may need or things you already resourced one of already. I mean, the other thing is just variety, right? I think there are going to be some people that want to play Red Hero that don't necessarily want to play the speed game, right? They want to be a little bit more calculated about their decision making. They want to do some other stuff. They want to have enough time to play units like Mace Windu, for example. So I like that Cassian provides that flexibility where, where Sabine is looking to just go as fast as humanly possible. Cassian might be able to take a little bit more time and be a little bit more methodical. And I think that's cool. So I think Sabine's probably still the stronger leader at this point, but I wouldn't write off Cassian in any aspect. I think this is one that might have some legs, and we'll see what other assistance Cassian gets down the line.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to talk about one of his pieces here shortly.
Oh, you mean For a Cause I Believe In? With Cassian's face on the artwork? Yeah, let's talk about this one, because this is something that's good in both Cassian and Sabine. For a Cause I Believe In is a 3-cost rare aggression heroism event that has some copy that's a doozy. So, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. For each heroism card revealed this way, deal 1 damage to an enemy base. You may discard any of the revealed cards and put the rest back on top of your deck in any order. Stack your deck with heroism cards, play this for 3, deal 4 damage to your opponent's base, trigger Cassian, and now you've got an open fire that hits your base instead of units. This is a really awesome card.
Yep. Plus an extra card in hand. Yeah, pretty reliable to get 4 off of this card. And then, yeah, you can fix the order. How could you not love this if you're in Hero Red?
This card's awesome. I think
so good.
You hate to see this card played. You love to play it. This is a really, really sick card, and it's gonna see a ton of play in set 1 and beyond. I don't think you can overstate how good this card is. But you talked about Cassian help, right? What about K2SO?
There he is.
K2SO, Cassian's counterpart, 4-cost ground unit in heroism and aggression. You get a 4/4 rebel droid with overwhelm. This is another rare. And he has an ability that reads, when defeated, for each opponent, choose 1. Either deal 3 damage to that player's base, or that player discards a card from their hand. There's the 3 to trigger Cassian. It's like they were meant to go together or something. This is another card that's really, really good.
Yeah, good, and not just good in Cassian. I think Sabine would be happy to get to this at 4 also.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, K2SO, really, really solid unit. And I think will be probably a staple in Red Hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think even a non-Cassian, non-Sabine deck in heroism that's playing red as their base aspect, I think slots K2SO in.
This is going in my Leia Rebel deck for sure.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely.
K2 is great. We love K2. Speaking of, and it should be pointed out, by the way, that K2 was spoiled by the Nerd Strike Back, as well as spoiling Benthic 2 tubes here. Benthic 2 tubes is value. For an uncommon, you're paying 1 cost for a single aspect aggression ground unit. You're getting a 2/2 Rebel Trooper for 1. And on attack, another friendly aggression unit gains raid 2 for this phase. So Benthic has to be your first target, or else he's giving somebody else raid 2, and then you have to attack that target instead. Like this, for 1 cost for a 2/2 with this ability, and an uncommon is really good. I like Benthic a lot.
Yes. Really strong. And also, I mean, if you can get Leia's ability off, right? Like he can just he can give that person the raid 2, and then that person attacks in the same action. So some really good kind of combo plays there. Yeah, can you see why I picked Leia red, Kevin, earlier?
Leia
I
Red's
just think
gotten a lot of help, yeah.
some of these red cards, man, I'm telling you, it's really just kind of knocked my socks off. How much red has like risen in the ranks after this month. There's so many, and we haven't even gotten to my favorite one yet.
Well, we're getting there. We've
Um,
only got a few cards left to go, and there are some
yeah,
doozies in the back end of this, so stay tuned. But yeah, to
let's
your
do
point, Leia loves Benthic 2 tubes.
it.
Loves it. So yeah, I'm sure this is going to slot into
Super excited.
your next build right away. Precision Fire is the next card. This one was revealed by Jenders Gaming. Precision Fire is a 1-cost aggression event that says attack with a unit. It gains Saboteur for this attack. If it's a trooper, it also gets +2/+0 for this attack. I love this card. I love this card in Heroism. I love it in Villainy. This card probably takes the place of Open Fire in every aggression deck. Even if it has minimum troopers. I think
Tell me more about it.
I think this card's that good. I mean, first of all, you're giving a unit Saboteur off rip. So you're going to want to play this on a trooper for sure. But like, it's almost like a cheaper surprise strike, but you can blow up shields or get past sentinels for, to get to your opponent's base. It doesn't feel as good if you don't play it on a trooper, but like, if you've got to get past Obi-Wan, this is the way to do it. If you got to get past the cell block guard, this is the way to do it. I really like Precision Fire, and I think using this in place of Open Fire to deal more damage to base and less damage to units isn't necessarily a bad thing. But you could also run both of them because they both have cool Stormtrooper art. So there's that.
Yeah. No, I mean this is another very, very good card, and I think definitely has a place in. You could definitely argue outside of troopers, but you really do want it on a trooper.
You do. And speaking of troopers, you want it on. How about a SpecForce Soldier, which was the other card revealed by Jenders Gaming. We got a lot of 1-drops in this section. For 1 cost, you're getting another 2/2. This one is both aggression and heroism. It is a rebel trooper, and when played, a unit loses Sentinel for this phase. Play it anytime. Card's awesome.
Yeah, another really good 1-drop. Theme of the spoilers here. A lot of really good 1-cost cards in this month.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. So I would not hesitate to put it in a heroism aggression deck for sure. And then we get to Keep Fighting. This is a card that was revealed alongside Meeko by Hunter and Friends Brettspiele. Keep Fighting is a 2-cost aggression event that says ready a unit with 3 or less power. And I know we're not supposed to start with the artwork, but man, this art is tremendous. Like, wow. As for the card, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't know how much tempo you're going to lose by playing this, but if you really need to push that last couple damage across, you can definitely do it with Keep Fighting.
Do you think 2 costs is a fair landing spot for this one?
I think it is. I think if the parameters were different, if it was ready a unit, it'd be way too strong. If it was ready a unit with 4 or less power, I think it's probably still a little bit above curve, especially for a common. I don't know. I think this fits for me.
Yeah. It feels slightly overcosted in my view. But it's absolutely bonkers at 1 and it's
Yeah.
unplayable at 3.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to land on 2, but it feels like it's, kind of like a 2 to ready a 3.5 or less, So I'm not sure if I'll get to keep fighting, but I'm glad I have the option if I'm playing red.
This is going to be awesome in limited. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, there you go.
This is going to give you some extra damage that you desperately need in limited formats, I think. All right, so we're down to the last 3 cards here, and I think all 3 of them are pretty awesome. We're going to start with
There we go.
We're going to start with red 3, because red 3 is disgusting.
I love this card.
Red 3 is a 3-cost space unit in aggression and heroism. It is a rare. You get a 2/3 rebel vehicle fighter with raid 1, and each other friendly heroism unit gains raid 1. I hate this card so much because it is so good. It's good.
This is one of my favorite cards in the entire set that we've seen.
Oh my gosh, it's
It
amazing.
might be right behind Unit Leia, honestly. It's just, this card is amazing. I
Yeah.
cannot wait to use this card.
This card is the scourge of any opponent who is playing against a red hero deck. Like, you do not want to see red 3 hit the table ever.
So good.
Yeah,
So good.
I think this is an instant 3 of in any red hero deck, any single one. It's nutty. Play red 3. Get your hands on 3 copies of red 3 because the card's going to be good for a long time, and it's only going to get better with the more heroism units are revealed, because it's heroism. It's not aggression units. It's heroism units. So it's going to apply to potentially all of your units in your heroism deck, no matter what the aspect is. Oh, it's disgusting. It's a disgusting card. This card is one that would potentially try to get me into playing heroism, but I'm not.
There we go.
I'm not going to. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And then we come to Zeb Orrelios. This is the second card revealed by Jedi News Network. Zeb Orrelios is awesome. This is a 5-cost ground unit in aggression heroism. You're getting a 5/5 rebel specter, and when this unit completes an attack, so completes an attack, not on attack, much like Ezra, if the defender was defeated, you may deal 4 damage to a ground unit. Aside from the fact that this card is obviously very good, and an uncommon, by the way. Uncommon. Keep that in mind. I just love the fact that it costs 5. Because now you can literally play Spectres every round in the lead up to Hera, right? You could play Sabine round 1, Ezra round 2, Kanan round 3, Zeb round 4, and then round 5 Hera comes out. I love that. Like, that might not have even been intentional, but it had to be intentional because it fits so perfectly. And yeah, Zeb might be the best Spectre we have right now. It might be.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to not take Kanan there, but I mean, when I first saw Zeb, I was like, whoa, that's a card.
Yeah.
That is really, really good. And yeah, being able to double up on damage the way he can with his ability, just so many applications there, and I think he's great. Really, really great design.
Yeah, I love Zeb, and I think this single-handedly made Hera decks look a lot better. Because having Zeb in there really adds to that deck so much more. So, and again, we've seen so many new unique units that have come out now that could potentially slot into Hera. So her ability is only getting better. So we got to end though on some aggression villainy. The last card in our little rip here is the Ruthless Raider. This was again revealed by Late Night Gaming. So go check them out. Ruthless Raider is a 6-cost aggression villainy space unit. It's an Imperial vehicle capital ship. You get a 4/6. It's an uncommon, and when played and when defeated, so both, deal 2 damage to an enemy base and 2 damage to an enemy unit. I love this card. This card is going into every aggression villainy deck I have. I think it's really good. I think dealing 4 damage when it comes out completely makes up for the 4/6 stat line for a 6 cost. And dealing 4 damage again on the way out. Yeah, I love this card.
Yeah, I do too. It's really good. And you're not going to feel bad playing this for 6, like you might that green snow speeder we saw earlier. I think, vehicle to vehicle, this is just way better, and so much extra value from that ability. Just a really, really solid option for villains.
Yeah, Ruthless Raider is definitely going to find a home in a lot of decks, I think, because there's something to be said about getting your opponent down to 23 or 28 on their base and then just dropping a Ruthless Raider. Game over. See you later.
Absolutely.
And again, uncommon. Don't forget that. And that's it. We made it through a cavalcade of spoilers to end off the year. And honestly, what a year it was. I'm so excited for this game to come out. I'm so excited for what we're going to do when the game comes out. Just the amount of playing that we're going to do, the amount of content we're going to be able to make, just the fun we're going to have with, ourselves and also members of the community. So, please stay tuned. Those of you that have made it this far, as always, thank you for sticking with us till the end of the video here. I know we went a little longer than we usually do, but it was worth it. It's worth it to talk about just all the things that make us excited about Star Wars Unlimited, and and look back on the year that was, because SWU really started in 2023, and we're gonna look back fondly on that and be like, hey, remember that time that we were getting all hyped for the release, and now here we are 12 sets in and we're still going strong. I mean, I hope it comes out to that, but even if it doesn't, this is going to be a fun ride no matter what. And stay tuned, Corwin.
A good start, man. It's
Yeah.
a good start, and we're almost there. We're almost to the tipping point. So it's a little bit more of a wait. We can start actually playing with these real cards in our hands.
Real cards. So yeah, and we're gonna keep talking, and up until that point, we'll try to get a little bit more consistent as we get closer to the game. But no promises. We've got adult lives and adult schedules, and we're gonna try to balance those as often as we can. But as more cards continue to get revealed, there's just gonna be more to talk about, and they have said they will reveal the entire set before the game releases. So expect all that to be out by March 1st, which I believe is pre-release weekend. And so yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. So that is gonna do it for this last episode of Roll On Gaming podcast here in 2023. We look forward to seeing all of you in 2024. For my brother Corwin, I'm Kevin, saying have a great new year. Enjoy your holiday season, and thanks very much for watching. See you next time.